Hey everybody, welcome to the final conversation between Nekia, Nichelle, and myself about And Just Like That. Yep, the season finale was yesterday. Will there be a season 2? We don't know. I hope there will be because I absolutely loved it. Hate that we missed you guys last week. So today we're going to talk about episode 4. My mind, I'm telling you, it's Friday and anybody else just like burnt out from the week? I'm burnt out in a good way though. I had a really good week, but it was a very busy week. So we're going to talk about episode 9 and episode 10, the season finale of And Just Like That. Hello, lucky baby doll. Hey there, Charles Martin. Hi, you guys. Hey, cute and sexy. Coach Lewis. Anybody remember that show, Romper Room, where she was like, I see this person and that person. I see Cindy and Jackie and this person and that person. Oh, I used to love that show. So I am waiting for Nekia and Nichelle to come on. I have to tell you, I have stayed disappointed in Miranda throughout this rest of the season. Although I was surprised at how things ended. Thank you, Tasha. Happy belated birthday. Thank you. Yes, my birthday was Monday. Thank God it's Friday. I know. Are you going to interview LaRoyce Hawkins anytime soon? You know what? I have been texting back and forth with LaRoyce, and he's sending me a sweatshirt from this new line that either he creates or he's a part of. And yes, I will be interviewing him soon. He is my good friend. I love him so much. Hey, Nekia and Nichelle.
Hi! Oh my
Hi.
God, I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. I was starting to go through.
I know. People were wishing me a happy birthday. My birthday was Monday. Thank you.
Did you get my birthday card? I mean, that's how busy you've been, ma'am.
Girl,
I cannot.
It's been busy. It really has been, but in a good way. I'm not complaining.
We need to catch up.
I know. It's been crazy.
I'm like, for a second, I'm like, is Jackie mad at me? I'm like,
girl, you and a whole bunch of people.
I'm like,
anybody out there who I owe a phone call to or a text or an email, please show me some grace because it's been really crazy.
Girl, well, you know, with Chesley Chris dying, girl, you never know where people are mentally. And so I'm true. Okay, is my friend going through a depression and I need to get
yeah, I mean, you have to know. I was on Wendy Williams last week.
I saw.
And so, with my Vegan Sexy Cool brand, which was amazing. It was my first time doing a demo table. So usually I'm the interviewer. This time I was the one being interviewed. And girl, not easy. It took a lot, but I love it. And so many things have opened up with my Vegan Sexy Cool brand because of that. And so I have been trying to just manage all of that. And it has been wonderful.
A whirlwind.
It's been a whirlwind, but it's been good. It's been good. So big things to come from that, but that's what it's been. It's been just trying to handle all of that and keep up with everything, which is a lot.
I'm so happy for you. I need that Wendy Williams contact.
Girl, that wasn't nothing but God. When I tell you, that dropped in my lap a week before, and I was like, wow. It was like, do you want to do it? Can you? I was like, do I want to? Talk about Vegan Sexy Cool, my new brand. I was like, absolutely. So yeah, that's all, girl. But yeah, it's been. But Chesley's death, that hit me hard. That was heartbreaking.
Girl.
But you never know. So it is good to check in with our friends and keep up with our friends and all that stuff. Okay, so we're here to talk about And Just Like That. It's good to see your face. I'm gonna let you take the lead, girl, on this because I know that you don't like to kind of cross talk about. Like you like to go chronologically when we talk about it. And I'll end up talking about this episode. So you introduce what we're going to talk about and then I'll follow up with my comments. Girl, go.
Okay. I to be honest with you, I really don't know where to start. And I'm going to tell you why, because you know, we missed a week. So usually we do our predictions and we kind of go through it and I'm kind of like guessing where they're going to take us or whatever. I will say I once I finally watched episode 10, I was like, I felt like I needed more. Like it felt very final. I don't know if this was like a little mini series or like a little, you know, we're not coming back for season 2, but there was no cliffhanger. There was nothing that indicated to me. No. And I know what you're thinking the cliffhanger is. The Samantha, it's not happening.
No.
Right.
That kiss in the elevator.
We knew they was going to be bumping and grinding. Come on.
Yes, girl, that's a cliffhanger. And Samantha is a cliffhanger too.
No.
I'm still holding out.
Listen, I don't think that Samantha is, well, after seeing that Variety article, and Sarah Jessica Parker made the comment that since Kim Cattrall has been very vocal about her disdain about coming back and wanting to come back, that, you know, Samantha, Sarah Jessica Parker is not really interested in having her on the show.
Girl, people said Jodeci was never coming back, and they back. So I'm holding out. I think she's coming back. I love the way that they handled it, but we'll see. Even if there's a season 2, that hasn't even been confirmed, but they'd be crazy not to do it.
I just got the feeling, because did you see that they put out a documentary?
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
Not yet. No.
I did.
Oh, what'd you think of it? What
I felt that it felt very insecure. Final 5th season to me, or 6th season, or whatever, how many seasons, but it felt very final. It felt very, I mean, now I will say, I love the fact, and you will absolutely love it, because they take you in the fashion closet, girl. They take you on a fashion
tonight.
It was like fashion porn. I mean, from the shoes to the hats to the necklaces to the old Carrie outfits, new Carrie outfits, how they implemented them. I mean, we was all up and through the And Just Like That and Sex and the City wardrobe. It was absolutely divine. I was like, wow. I was just so taken aback, and just kind of taking you through the process of, you know, each of them. I want to say Cynthia and Sarah Jessica Parker and Davis, first name. What's her first name? Shit.
Kristen.
I always forget that. Kristen Davis, they are all executive producers on the show.
Yeah.
Cynthia Nixon has also directed some episodes on the show. So they just kind of take you through a ride of how the tone of the show, what they decided to do, why they decided to do it that way, how important, you know, the fashion was. So they just really take you on that journey. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was interesting, because it just felt like, okay, this ain't coming back for season 2.
I don't know, because I saw an interview with the executive producer. What's his name? Patrick King?
Yeah.
Michael Patrick King.
Michael, yes.
And he was saying, we don't know. It could happen. We don't know. It wasn't a definitive, nope. This is just like, I don't know why they would be coy about it. Why not say it's only supposed to be 1 season? That's it. We just wanted to do something special. It was a one-off. They're not saying that. They're saying, you know, we don't know. It could pick up, and you know, there could be a season 2. So that's why I say, you know, it could happen.
I mean, we'll
I
see.
hope so. Do you want a season 2?
That is a really good question. So I'm on the fence. So if you're gonna do a season 2, just bring back Samantha, and let's get this over with now. Put bygones behind, you know, let bygones be bygones, and let's just do it, guys. She belongs there. She has, you know, look, they were putting old clips in the documentary, and it just reaffirmed, like, I miss her so fucking much. I'm like, I just miss her. I miss her. She was the reason, honestly, why I started watching Sex and the City. Yes, I liked Carrie's fashion, but the fact that she was just so candid, the fact that she was just so raw and real, it drew me in, and I love that about her. So just add her. Just like, let's just do it and get over this little feud that's going on. Please and thank you.
Yeah.
I'm ready to have her on the show. So you introduce it. Let's go ahead and make that happen. Sarah Jessica Parker, put all that emotional behind. Y'all deal with that behind the scenes. But for the viewers, make that TV magic happen all over again. So
I'm in agreement with you. I mean, I think in what a perfect way to end the season with this soundbite. Do I think they should recast Samantha? Lala wants to know. No, I don't think so. I think it's either her or nobody. After all this time, there's no recasting. I think that they've tried to give us elements of her in other characters, even Anthony's character and the other new women. I think they've given us elements of what Samantha was with Seema and everything. But you can't replace Kim Cattrall in that role. That role is hers and hers alone. That's my 2 cents. But I think it's perfect timing that all season long, right? Sarah Jessica hasn't said really anything about Kim Cattrall. And then at the end of the season, she says, nope, she's not coming back. But they end, in the last episode with an interaction between Kim Cattrall, Samantha and Carrie. And now we know that they're meeting. So to me, what perfect PR timing for her to say, nope, it's not happening. And then how over the moon will you be if they're like, they said, this is not guiding light, no replacement of any characters, as Tasha said. Exactly. Yeah, I still think it's possible. I still think it's possible. I
did feel that Sarah Jessica Parker putting that out there. And I'm like, ma'am, the last episode showed you texting and you're going to have some cocktails. Stop messing with us now.
Right.
Damn it. You're making me mad. So, yes, it would be perfect harmony if on season 2, just bring her back. And then, yeah, that kiss, honey child. Now that was passion. The other guy, the teacher,
not so much, unfortunately, because I like him. But I think that there'll probably be a bit of a love if they come back for a second season, there'll be somewhat of a love triangle. But it's just like, girl. I said that producer is too hot to be just sitting around.
I like the teacher. He's a good but the producer is one that, yeah. Because I said, let him do more than just produce, girl.
Well, what they were saying on this interview that I was reading with Michael Patrick King and some of the other writers on the show is that they said that when they introduced him in the very beginning, that they knew that it would end up here. They wanted there to be this familiarity between he and Carrie that was created organically, right? That they knew each other. Not that they were hanging out or that there was anything romantic, but they were familiar with each other. And they said that the intention all along was to have them end up here. And they said that in a season 2, we could see, we'll see where it goes. Like, it leaves you like, where is it going to go? Are they going to wake up in bed together? What happens in that elevator beyond those doors closing and then being, engaged in a passionate kiss. So I was like, okay. I'm definitely curious about it. And I think that they handled it really, really well. The Carrie mourning the loss of Big and then getting, and kind of dipping her toe in dating, but not being ready those first 2 dates. And then they had a really lovely 3rd date, but there were no sparks. And then she's got hella sparks with this guy. And we know that a year has passed. You know what I mean? Or almost a year since his death.
Right. Yeah. I did like that setup. I also, we did talk about this, right? We talked about her possibly getting with the podcaster manager. I can't think of his name, but I was just so shocked because the kiss kind of came out of nowhere.
Because the kiss came out of nowhere. Yes, I agree. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. Like, and the fact that Carrie did it, though, it was a more passionate, more come hither, boy.
Because it wasn't that he kissed her. They kissed each other.
It was like
she was like, I want me some of that.
She said, "I get drunk
Franklin. Franklin is his name. His name is Franklin, the producer.
Franklin."
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. She was feeling some Franklin, and just the lead up. They're looking at each other. He's tall, looking down. She's short, looking up, and just
I did not see it.
It was very passionate. So
No,
I was like,
yeah. So too. Let's talk about our girl Miranda, because I am so sick of her. Even though I have to say, I am.
Do you have your Wi-Fi on for? Do you have your Wi-Fi on? Because it's a little grainy.
Do I have it off?
Off? Yeah. Do you have it off or on or?
No,
okay.
It's on. My Wi-Fi's on.
Well, hopefully,
my camera might be dirty.
Clean that camera.
My girl, listen. The week I had, you lucky I'm here. I'm like, listen. Girl, listen. It has been crazy. I'm listening. I'm surprised my cousin hasn't come on and said, clean your lens. And if I had a wipe right here, I would clean it. But I don't. Oh wait, I'll get one. Hold on.
Okay, not a problem. Yeah, we got to talk about Miranda though. I was trying to leave that one up for, whenever we get it together, because she's a lot.
Well, Miranda, I was like, but to the writer's credit, I am shocked that they did not make this blow up in a disaster. Like her going to Cleveland, I was like, that's it, that's gonna blow up. No, her going to Che's apartment, I was like, that's gonna blow up, and it really didn't. Her going to meet Che's parents, that's gonna blow up. Nope, it didn't. Che moving to California, nope, they're still. So I mean, listen, I guess they're staying.
Yeah, I was so shocked. I'm like, I'm waiting tooth and nail, like, okay, damn, and each time I wrote down, I was like, see, that's why you shouldn't. And then I'm like, oh, damn, okay.
Well. Every time. So girl, I was wrong. I really thought that this was going to be a lesson learned. And I really, more than anything, wanted Steve to be avenged. I really wanted it to blow up in her face for Steve's sake. And instead, they make Steve end up looking like a fool. I'm not taking this ring off. I'm going to, I don't care what she does. I'm still going to, I'm like, what? Yeah. Man, if you don't get back out there with your cute self. I mean, yes, he's hearing, he has some hearing issues and things like that, but he is, that's no reason for somebody not to date him. Right. He may be self-conscious about it. And I think that's probably why he's so comfortable in his relationship. But Steve owns his own bar, right? Mm-hmm. He got a brownstone in Brooklyn that's at least half his, and he's a nice, decent guy.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on.
Let her go. But
I want a season 2 just so we can see Steve be happy with somebody else.
Well, that's why I have mentioned in recaps before. I'm like, Steve is comfortable in his complacency, so that's going to be hard to break. That type of person. He and he's nice, and he really loves Samantha. And and that was one thing too that the documentary took us back, and Michael Patrick King had mentioned that he was like, remember, not Samantha, but Miranda wanted to have an abortion when it came to Brady.
Yeah.
She was thinking about not even moving.
She didn't want to be a mother. She wasn't sure she wanted to be a mother.
Right. So for that's why I say, I feel like, because on episode 10, she had a breakdown and she was like, why can't I change? Or, you remember that. Yeah. Yeah. And I felt it like she just wants to change and doesn't want to have anything, like, I don't want to say have anything to do, but wants to see where life takes her and not be on this mundane same track. And I have always felt that with Miranda.
But I still feel like the Miranda of And Just Like That, this reboot is just such a departure from who she was. I mean, I get we all evolve and change, but it's like just the desperation and the immaturity of how she rolls in this relationship, showing up at the apartment and no, I gotta go. I should have done it. Oh, no, I went like, it's just hard to watch. It's just so uncomfortable. Does she have to be so pathetic in it? Okay, I get it. You're in love, but have some pride, woman. You know what I mean? Have some self-respect, for God's sake. You know? Yeah. I mean, it's just like, what are you doing? Right. You know, it's just nose wide open. She don't care. I mean, she don't care who she hurts or what. And you saw her hair is red again. It's just like she just wants a whole other life. Thank God Brady's going to Europe, because if he needed his mama for anything, forget it. Thank God he's old enough to take care of himself, and he has a daddy that's still living, because if she was a single mother with some younger kids, girl, they would be in trouble. They would be in trouble. They would be in trouble, because mama would be out. Mom's like, I don't know. I went to the grocery store and bought some bread. Fend for yourselves. I'm out. I'm in love.
Right. I'm in love. I'm moving to LA. Like,
yeah, I'm moving to LA. Good luck.
Right. Like, what? And I wish they would have showed us, even though, you know, I'm not really feeling Brady like that, but they should have showed us Miranda telling him and how he feels about this new mom, you know. This is your kid at the end of the day. He didn't ask to be here. You made the choice to bring him into this world. At least let us see that and how that unfolded and how Brady felt about it. I still don't know how Brady feels about it.
I don't think Brady gives a fuck. I think Brady is so busy trying to, you know, get it on with his girlfriend. He don't care what his parents are doing. I don't think he cares.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't think he cares if they're divorcing, as long as he can still have his room and have his privileges to have sex in his room and not have to pay anything for it. I think Brady's good. Brady don't seem like he cares anything about what's going on with his parents.
Right.
You know, I mean, not at all. Not at all. I don't think he cares.
No.
Who his mother is saying.
No, I mean, I just thought from that standpoint, because I mean, it is drastic. I mean, you're going to LA, you're
leaving, you're divorcing my father, you're having a relationship, you know, with a non-binary person. I just, you know, you're out at clubs, you're, you know,
smoking your weed, drinking your drinks,
you know. So Gigi said this series really needed Samantha, Kim Cattrall. It would have been interesting. It would have been interesting to have her on top of that.
And then the dynamic between her and Seema, I would have liked to see that, as well as her and Lisa.
But I wonder if there would have been a Seema. I wonder if there would have, if there was a Kim Cattrall, in what way would they have brought these new women in? I think even Anthony ended up playing a bigger part in the ladies' lives because Kim Cattrall was not there. That's my thinking. I mean, I don't know that. But, you know, I think it's a perfect setup for season 2. I hope they do it. I really do. I can't wait to watch this documentary. What do you think about Charolette and her parenting? It seems like she and her husband are really handling, you know, I'm trying to think, Rock's transition really well, not having a day mitzvah, getting a trans rabbi. You know what I mean? I think that they are really adjusting from the moments that we've seen well to this. Better that than with Rose and her period situation.
You mean Lily?
Oh, I thought her name was, oh yeah, that Rose is Rock. Yeah, Lily. And her having her period situation, that was, oh my gosh, she was losing her mind.
Yes, I said to myself, parents, because I'm not a parent, is this what teenagers are like? I wanted to ask my mom, is that what I was like? Because, honey, throw it away. I'm sending you, I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't.
It's a lot. I mean, I hear so many of my friends with kids who say, as challenging and difficult as it can be when they are younger, it is equally so when they become young adults. And when I say that, I mean like teenagers, 16, 17, like when they really are, you know, want to go out on their own. They don't want to be up under mommy and daddy anymore. You know, like when they get to that age that it becomes really, really challenging to be a parent.
I don't know if you know, Jackie, I think I told you this before. I have a 17-year-old little sister.
I didn't know that.
I love her to death. She's about to be 18, but my mom, I'm telling you, because my mom decided to get her groove back in her late 40s, and hence my little sister. And now, you know, the friction, she stresses my mom out at times where my mom called Nick, please, please. So I know it's, and she's a good, I mean, she's on her schoolwork tough. She's taking college courses right now. I mean, she's what you would consider a good kid, but at a certain age, woo, honey, I said, oh Lord, I send her away. I don't know what to tell you, Mom. I have no idea what to tell you.
Oh yeah,
So
it's a lot.
it's a lot.
CC. Yeah, girl. I mean, and I think Charlotte and Harry, I think they conveyed the struggle of that, the difficulty of that really, really well, of dealing with a teenager. And I love seeing Charlotte because the expectation is she has this perfect life, right? She's got the money. She's got a great husband who loves her. She's got her kids. You know what I mean? She always wanted to be a parent. You know, she's got a great, you know, apartment and everything. So somebody said, Gigi said, teenage daughters will make you.
Or break you. Okay.
Yeah, but I love that Professor, is it Naya? You know, was saying, you know, saw Charlotte going through that. That just really reconfirmed her feeling that she does not want to be a mother. And now we see she and her husband separating because of that, which broke my heart because I love them together. I love their energy together. But I would imagine that a lot of couples go through that. But I applaud the writing that a woman who does not want to be a mother is not deciding, let me go ahead and have a baby for my husband, when
Right.
your role in that is equal to, and oftentimes more, as a parent, as a mom. And you have to be true to yourself when it comes to, you know, making that decision. It's not just about what your husband wants, but it's what you want too. Particularly to her point, you know, that this other couple, that her husband was, you know, looking and seeing what their life could be like with kids, you know, they have all this money and probably have nannies and all kinds of support, and, you know, don't have to worry about the expense of taking care of a child, which is really expensive. So I was glad that they went there with that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I so disappointed that they, you know, Naya and her husband, you know, it doesn't seem like they're going to come to a resolve on that. I did not like that was episode 9 when how he went there when they were painting, like, really, right now, this is what
Right now,
you know, I mean, sir, like, it just kind of irritated me and kind of disappointed me, because I'm thinking, this is not the time. This is not the time. Yeah. And then he doubled down on it. He doubled down and, you know, and getting an attitude and getting feisty and wanting to debate it. And I'm like, I just didn't like that. You know, even though we have who is this random acts of watching said that they you know, that they're irritated that they finally have a Black couple and they split. Luckily we have Lisa and her husband, but no, I concur. Why couldn't we just let that couple have that struggle and maybe kind of deal with it a little bit better? But that's not to say if there is a season 2
that we won't see them still together.
Right.
That's what I hope. I mean, and that's why there was enough left hanging that I want to see a season 2. To me, they did their job with that.
Yeah.
I definitely want to see my Grambling just like that, Sex and the City on January 20th. That was, congratulations, Gram fam. That's nice. I wonder who he played.
Natural. I'm so other people that are watching this. Natural Lady Friday said that her Graham fam brother, Gramboline Graham fam brother had a cameo appearance on Just Like That. It was on episode 9. So we were just congratulating her fam for.
Yeah, I love that. Congratulations. Yeah. That's a big moment. This is a big series.
Now, what did you think, girl, on episode 9? I thought it was really presumptuous of Miranda to say, calling herself the girlfriend. And it didn't look like, I kind of got an idea that Che was not feeling that.
Every time I think Che is not feeling something or is offended by something Miranda does, she says something like, I'm not sleeping with anybody else but you.
Right.
Every time I feel that way, she says something like, of course, I want you to come with me. Come meet my family. Come. I mean, she keeps giving Miranda encouragement to go in this new direction of, I'm just going to throw caution to the wind and follow my heart. I'm not going to follow these rigid rules that I have in the past. Even though that seemed just a part of her DNA to be guarded and careful and smarter. I think she has thrown her brain out the window and she's just following her heart. So yeah, this whole relationship, to me, I can't call it. I don't know what's gonna happen with it. But I really thought it was gonna blow up in Miranda's face, and I had hoped for that, but it did not at all. Somebody said that Lisa and her husband were drinking wine together out of paper cups at the recital. Couple goals. Cute Delta lawyer girl said that. Yes, indeed, that is so true. And Random Acts of Watching says, with love long scenes with the Karen and Nicole Ari Parker characters, main reason I tuned in. Yes, me too. I wanted them to go beyond just kind of meeting, but I'm glad that they met, and I love that they liked each other, right?
Yeah.
I loved that. I love that whole moment. Yeah, I want them to be friends too.
Yeah, and I love that they all came together. The only person that I don't think was there that day when they were painting was Che. I don't think Che came to that painting series. No. I know. Well, I was gonna say, has Charlotte met Che? But I would say so, right? Or not in this formal, like Carrie knows.
I don't know. Carrie knows her from working together. I can't remember if Charlotte met her yet, because she was at they were at the auction. Remember the auction where they raffled off Carrie? Yeah. Che was there. They were all there, but I can't remember if Charlotte met Che. I can't remember. But I loved, let me tell you what I loved in episode 9. The moment when Carrie and Steve had that conversation right before Carrie dropped her ring down the drain. I don't know why she was wearing that thing. It was way too big. But anyway, I love that they had that moment, even though I would have screamed if I was Carrie and I stepped into a bucket of paint or a container of paint with those, what had to be very expensive platform shoes. I would have died. But apparently she was able to wash it off. But why in the hell did she have those shoes on to go painting? I was just like, you know what? You deserve it, girl. I can't with you. I can't with you. Wanted Che to have an equally sexy love interest. What do you mean? Random Acts of Watching said they wanted Che to have an equally sexy love interest. I wonder what that means.
I'm not sure.
Tell us. Yeah, so I love that moment between Carrie and Steve. And I feel like from here on, that if there is a season 2, we won't see much of Steve, which disappoints me because I love him. Yeah, I love him so much. I think it's a big letdown for, to me, diehard Sex and the City fans who have loved Steve and Miranda's journey. We loved in that first movie the whole Brooklyn Bridge. What about the Brooklyn Bridge, man? What about the Brooklyn Bridge? It's like it meant nothing to these writers. Nothing. I can't.
Yeah, it is. I will say, because I saw somebody comment that they don't like how Miranda is, and I will say, I think we're coming up against Miranda Hobbs versus Cynthia Nixon, and I feel like Cynthia Nixon is coming into this, like you understand, it's her personal, who she is, what she's about, is taking over the character, and it's losing some authenticity of who Miranda is. I mean, we're not even getting a sliver of original Miranda, besides the red hair, and it looked reddish brown. It didn't look that fiery red. So we're not even getting a sliver of Miranda anymore. It feels like I'm watching Cynthia Nixon's life unfold and just like that.
Well, I feel like I feel like how she handled Steve was very Miranda. I feel like how she handled Che when she first met her, when she let her son smoke pot, was very Miranda. I felt like her reaction to Carrie, wondering if, Big was in her apartment, clicking the light on and off and saying, I had a dream, and her kind of being like, oh, come on, Carrie, you believe in heaven? Like that whole stuff seemed very Miranda. Even though, but I couldn't believe she was questioning, Carrie about these things, yet carrying on the way that she was, flying all over the place like a nut job. I just can't with her. I can't.
Wait a minute. The thing that I found interesting on episode 10 was how Carrie was kind of getting mad at Miranda wanting to go to LA, even though I think it's a little bit much, ma'am.
I do too.
But remember, Carrie, you flew to Paris. You were gonna move to Paris for Koshkashki's, I don't know his name, but and that was very out of the ordinary, out of the blue. She's made rash decisions out of love, going to run after Natasha, going to trying to meet Big's mother. So miss me with this now all of a sudden, judgy attitude. You've done some wacky dacky things, let's be clear.
And Miranda called her on all those things. So if I were Carrie, I would be looking for an opportunity to be like, okay, now wait a minute. You the same person who said I was crazy for running off to Paris, who, said that I was chasing a fantasy when I was, longing after Big and going after Big. I think the thing, and when I see Carrie in that moment, in spite of what she has done in her past, I felt was justified in saying to her friend, you're blowing off this internship, which is like a really exclusive, one in a lifetime opportunity. You've got a life here, and you're going out here to, and even Professor Naya was even like, are you sure about that? But then once Miranda explained herself, I think it is good of friends to kind of say, wait a minute. So you blowing this off and Miranda in her, oh, I'm in love. I'm just in love. I just can't stand it. It's like, so you're just giving up everything, but it seems to be working out.
Yeah.
It seems to be like, it's not blowing up in her face, but it's just like what Carrie was saying. What are you going to do in LA? Are you just going to sit in the audience and laugh? What about, and this is the problem to me when it comes to relationships and not really looking for compatibility and someone who's a good partner, and just going out, just letting your feelings take you, because once that all settles down, and eventually it will for Miranda, then is there compatibility? Is there something that we have to build something on besides our passion? You know what I mean? Because Che is not as into it, in my opinion, as Miranda is, but whatever. So what are they? And so Miranda putting everything on hold at this stage in her life, if things fall through, then what is she going to do? The internship is over. She's leaving school. She's left her husband. Her kids off. And she abandoned her kid, threw him off to Europe. You know what I mean? Not really. She didn't abandon him. I'm joking about that.
Not working. I don't think she's practicing law.
No.
So she has no real...
she wants to do nonprofit work, and she's in school.
Right. And that one thing that going back to episode 9, that Miranda, I feel like, keeps missing certain things in the way Che is wording things. So she said,
yes,
you're the only person I'm sleeping with right now.
Yes, ma'am.
Right now being the operative words.
Yeah, I agree.
So that means tomorrow, if Che decides then that she wants, or they want to sleep with someone else, Miranda can't be mad, because it was very clear, and there's been like little hints and little things that Che
consistently
Che
has been very consistent with that kind of stuff, saying that You know, they are not into traditional relationships, right? There was that. Che is constantly putting up boundaries and saying, okay, now slow down. Okay, let's check this. Whereas Miranda is all over the place, you know, making assumptions. You know, but again, every time I think it's going to blow up in her face, Che does something to confirm that Miranda is moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting. I'm holding my breath with it because to me, it just feels too easy. It feels way too easy, especially the way that I kind of feel like she just spit in Steve's face. I mean, like, you know, he's been such a good sport about it. Yes, he is. I think at this point that Miranda has moved on. She's made it very clear. He needs to do the same as well. But he's such a loving guy. He's such a sweetheart. But again, I'm with you. I feel like let's see him find someone that can appreciate him for who he is, what he has to offer, what he brings to the table, because it's a lot, you know, and he has such a big heart. It just is so disappointing to see Miranda trample all over it like that.
I don't know why they did that. And then not to even have him in the last episode, but just have him in the, you know, the episode before that, just clinging on to nothing. You know what I mean? I'm not taking my ring off, which fortunately made Carrie say, let me move on. Let me take my ring off and move on. I feel bad for him. But I tell you something I do like too. I like Carrie's growing relationship with her neighbor downstairs. I like that. I like to see a much younger woman, you know, having a relationship with Carrie, you know, someone who reminds us of who these women from the show were when the show first started. I like that kind of dynamic, and I hope to see more of that if they decide to have a season 2. I thought that was really nice.
She's like a mentor, and I like that for her.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, I like that. I mean, you know, girl, I love Seema. I love her. And you see how she's got that relationship with that club owner. That's very Kim Cattrall. That's very Samantha.
I agree.
Very Samantha. Although the cigarettes are driving me nuts. I'm like, why? You know what I mean? Why is that happening? But I think that's something that's reemerging in New York City. I think people are starting to smoke more. I don't know if it's the pandemic or what's been going on, but that's a filthy habit. It's just nasty.
Can I tell you what I do like? And I've been hollering at the screen because he has been leaving me in stitches as Anthony. I absolutely, especially this last episode, when he gathered Rocky, he was like, oh no, get your, you know. And I thought to myself, I said, see, what needs to happen is Anthony needs to go over Miranda's house. That should have happened in earlier episodes and gathered Brady. That would have been lovely to see, because he tells you how it is. And he just had me, even in episode 9 when he brought in this date, and the date said some really wacky shit.
Well, he said the Holocaust is a hoax. And he was like, get out.
Get out. That was all that needed to be said, was 2 words. Because I was screaming. I mean, it was so funny. I just love him. I absolutely adore Anthony.
Somebody said, cute Delta lawyer girl said, true Jackie, like my grandmother said, you have to get out of bed sometime. Miranda is being immature and silly. And Gigi says that Miranda's quick jump to move on is why I'd like to see Steve paired with someone younger. Ooh. And Random Acts of Watching says, kind of reminds me of Mr. Big and how he popped back up with Carrie. Yeah, he was stringing her along for a long time.
I do agree, though, that, like, writing-wise, it's okay. There are some holes. There are some things that I feel, and I mean, that's just being totally honest. Like, what we fell in love with on Sex and the City, I feel like it's a little different now. There's times where it drags. I don't know what's happening. I feel like there's a disconnect. I don't know what the disconnect really is. Because I found moments, and I typically don't do this, but where I'm scrolling through Twitter while watching the show. And that's a no for me. You know, that shouldn't be,
Wow.
you know, so, and I think it was maybe episode 9 and 10. The other episodes where, you know, I'm trying to figure out, is Che about to embarrass the hell out of Miranda? I'm here. I had the popcorn waiting for those moments. But outside of that, like there, especially with these 2 last episodes, I was kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
you know.
Cute Delta lawyer girl agrees with you. She says the writing is mediocre. I disagree. I feel like Random Acts of Watching agrees with you as well. I disagree though. I guess I just feel like these women are different from what we got in Sex and the City, right? It was a different show. It was a different time in their lives. They moved differently. They were in and out of relationships, in and out of clubs, going to events all the time. It was a different type of energy that they were all living at that time in their lives. I mean, think about it. You know, today, for those of you who are, you know, 40 plus, you're not going to the club like you used to. You're not staying up, you know, your life is different. It doesn't, but, and so I guess I give room for that. And then I'm curious about where I'm so invested in these characters that I'm curious, and I'm rooted and grounded in where they're going, except for Miranda. And that's why the Miranda writing bothers me. I feel like it's just such a departure from who she was for all those seasons and in both movies. It just I don't know. That bothers me.
And that's where I say that I feel that Miranda's character is involving Cynthia. Cynthia Nixon is directing these episodes. She's a part of the process, you know, and I feel like maybe Cynthia Nixon wants to have herself represented in this character and has like meshed the two, you know. I that's all that I can think of and explain that, because it is starkly just so different from who Miranda is. I mean, I get it. Miranda is tough, and I get it. Trust me, 100%. I hear they're older, they're living a different life, and let's just kind of embrace this new chapter. And I mean, they have it in the title of the show, you know, Sex in the City, some chapter. But I guess that's what's becoming hard for me as a viewer, because I'm still kind of clinging on a little bit to them and or the old them, I should say, the old them. And I need a little. I mean, I trust me, 100%. I agree. There's part of the episodes where then I see Miranda come back, and I'm like, Miranda, there you are. And then she says some dumb shit about Che, and I'm like, girl.
I know. Yeah, I mean, I laughed at myself because I was like, now I'm used to this apartment. Now I like this apartment. It feels cozy to me that Carrie is there as she's grieving. And I love that closet so much. You know, now I'm feeling like I nostalgic about the apartment that she's in and everything. Whereas before I was like, girl, if you don't go get another fabulous place. So yeah, I don't know. I liked it, but I liked more than anything, and maybe I'm forgiving when it comes to the writing and things like that, because I just love visiting with these characters. I just love seeing them come together for brunch or dinner, seeing where their lives are. I was so invested in Sex and the City and the movies, and like when the first movie came out, me and three of my girlfriends, we went and watched it, and then went and had Cosmos, you know, in Brooklyn, and it was just like we went in our you know, our stilettos. It was like I'm so invested in these characters that I'm excited to see them back. And so wherever they are, I'm just excited about it. And then the fashion, oh God, I just love the fashion. I just love it. You know what I mean? I just do. So maybe I am a little forgiving when it comes to stuff like that. with this show. But I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the 10 episodes. I wish there was a little bit more. And so that's why I'm like, Gigi was just asking, is there going to be a season 2? And we don't know. And Lala said, I don't compare to the original show.
Yeah, that's what I think me and a lot of other people need to stop fucking doing. Stop comparing it to the old Sex and the City. Because I mean, if you really think about it, right? You haven't seen your girlfriend in 20 years, like in real life. Let's just take a scenario, right? Mm-hmm. You haven't seen your girlfriend that you knew from in high school or college in 20 years. In college, y'all was tearing it up, doing the coochie, you know. I mean, you couldn't sit down. You're doing reckless shit. And then they move away. Or you guys just, because life gets busy, you don't talk like you used to. You may check in from time to time, but it's not that constant that that you would do. You think that they're not going to change? You think that their life and how they lead their life is not going to change?
Yeah.
And if they don't, I'll be kind of looking at your side eye, like, girl, you still out here, doing things that we did in college or high school?
Right. And the conversations that they're having, that the writing brings into play, whether or not, you want to be a mother, whether or not at midlife, in your 50s, you have to settle for the life that you have, or can you go after something more exciting if you're in a comfortable, stable marriage situation, being widowed and what to do at this point of your life, getting back out there and dating after something like that. I mean, it's just all, dealing with teenagers, and we have to, Sex and the City was what it was, but we have to make sure that we make sure that it's important to tell stories of women at all stages of their lives. Right. It's not just young women who are interesting, and it's not just young women whose stories, we want to hear. We have to normalize hearing about and visiting with and, seeing women at all ages. I think that that's important because in our industry, being on television, in the media and so many things, the older you get, you know what I mean? The expiration date is like, okay, how much longer do I have? And it shouldn't be that way. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean that we're not good at our jobs or we're not as interesting as we get older.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm really a fan of these storylines and it being something different than what it was.
No, I agree. And you putting it into that perspective, I think that that's a really good perspective because a lot of people are upset, and I can understand the frustration of like, oh, it wasn't how it used to be. But then what are you saying as viewers for future shows that are embracing older women, different scenarios of women in different situations? What are you saying? Are you saying that you only want to see 20-something-year-olds on the screen that are single and you're out fucking every 2 seconds? I mean, what are you saying? Because then that staggers the opportunities for women that are older to get, Yeah. So I completely agree. You ostracize a certain demographic, and that's not fair. And then out in the same breath, I see on Twitter somebody say, oh, well, they're not giving, older women a chance. It's like, what do you want? What do you
even you have to support because look at Janet Jackson, right? In the documentary that she just put out.
Oh, I love it.
Looks amazing. There might be people who, like, if she announced after this, you know what, I'm going to do another tour. And if people were like, oh, she's too old, she doesn't need to be touring, not saying that she's interested in that, but it's like, we can't cancel women. I would love to see Janet Jackson. I know she would put on an amazing show. And she even said, if I did, I might not be as good because I'm a mom now and that's a priority and things like that. And so we'd have to give her some grace for that because we still love the icon that she is, but we can't cancel women, because they're not in their 20s anymore and because they don't have the same bodies that they did when they were in their 20s. You know, it's just like we have to give women grace and we have to make room for that.
And what is that saying? Not to be bogus, but what is that saying? If you expect a woman to have the same body that she did when she was in her, 19, 20, I mean, to men, like, so you're wanting to have sex with a young girl? What are you saying? What are you saying? It gets like, what are you trying to say? Like,
Yeah.
I have a womanly shaped body. You gonna get all these curves or don't get anything? What do you? And I can't always, I mean, pandemic pounds took over. I'm working on it,
Aren't we all?
That's all.
And
give me some damn grace, please.
Some grace, please, girl. What Random Acts of Watching says, things, feel like a stretch, like going to paint in those heels. That was always Carrie, though, but now it does feel like a stretch. That fantasy fashion mindset is very in the past. Right, I agreed. Invested, but Miranda, yeah, that's true. Yes, it's Cynthia and not Miranda. Talking about what you were saying. Hey, Lystra, my line sister, Lystra. Let's see. Lynette Campbell says, yes, that's what I was thinking as well about Cynthia and Miranda. There's a lot of parallels without explanation. And then Random Acts of Watching says, with all Big's money, kind of surprised she didn't buy the whole brownstone. That's a good point. That's a really good point. Maybe the owner didn't want to sell, but yeah, that's a really good point. Cute Delta lawyer girl, you're right. Keep comparing it to the original and it comes up short. Yep, that is so true. Yeah. Let's revisit Girlfriends. Yes. Cute Delta lawyer girl. That at least needs to be a movie.
Please take me there. I interviewed Golden Brooks, girl.
Yeah.
On Instagram Live, and you guys can check that out on my YouTube as well, but it's on my Instagram. And when I tell you, I absolutely love her. She stayed on the interview for an hour. She's humble. Wow. Sometimes you get these celebs, and Jackie,
I do.
and the ego is just, I got a headache. Please, sir, ma'am, I can't. She was just so real, so open, so honest. So please show some support for that interview. If you guys can head over to my YouTube and click on it. It is such a good interview. It was probably the best Instagram Live interview or virtual interview that I've ever done. I mean, I was at that point ready. I said, girl, we got to hang out or something. I just love your energy.
Yeah.
So I would love to see Golden back being Maya. Oh, hell no,
Did she talk about it in your interview at all?
Yes, she talked about it. She talked about, they did a reunion just recently.
I'm Blackish.
Yeah, I'm Blackish. So she talked about that and the excitement behind that. Is there going to be something? From what I keep hearing Tracy Ellis Ross say, is that it's really not up to them. They all seem to be on board at this point. So it's really up to, who knows?
Mara Brockett-Keel, maybe.
Who knows? But we need some closure because I feel like that show did not get its justice. It did not get the closure that what?
I know, that would be amazing. Christy Ann's Way says the documentary, I assume she's talking about the Sex and the City, and so it goes, and just like that, I keep saying it, so it goes, documentary was good. Black Butterfly agrees about Girlfriends, says, yes, I'm here for it. Random Acts of Watching says, everybody's excited about Girlfriends. I would see Janet Jackson anytime, says Show Patrol. And Cute Delta Lawyer Girl says, Tina Turner was fabulous until the day she shut it down, and she always sold out shows. Yes, she did. I love Tina Turner, and I hope she is happy and that the media leaves her alone.
And let me, not too long ago, maybe, I don't know, I think the last Janet Jackson tour, I have video of it. I was front row. Shout out to my friend Christina for my birthday. She took me, girl, surprised me.
How was it?
Now, I absolutely love Janet Jackson. I mean, absolutely love her. I've loved her for years. I've been a long fan. I was just so I was so mesmerized. I was just so like, I couldn't believe it was amazing. It was such an amazing show. This was actually a little bit before Joe's passing, and I saw Joe Jackson just walking the halls, just proud of his daughter, just walking the halls, honey, just walking,
Just monitoring things.
just walking in the, the arena, just walking around. But she put on a stellar performance. I have video of it. I still have photos. I'm just waiting to get my photo with her. I want to just tell her, you are appreciated, ma'am. Thank you for all that you do, because I'm telling you, that Velvet Rope album put me on to some things. Put me on to some things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's just amazing. And I'm happy that after that documentary, her record sales are soaring and that things are going so well for her. I love Janet Jackson too. So Chrissy Answay says, speak on it. A woman has to have the same body, but a man can look however he wants. Ain't that the truth? Cute Delta Lawyer Girl says, we love Golden. Everybody's saying they love Golden, love the show. Girlfriends in Blackish, that was a great reunion. Girlfriends would be a great reboot. I agree. Mara said she needs real money to make it how she wants to. I love, people are excited if Jackson could come out and do a two-step, and I'd go, me too.
Me too.
She could come and sit on the stage and just hold a microphone or sit on a stool and talk and sing, and I would love it.
I would absolutely adore it. I would
I love her.
I would pay the money. I don't give a damn.
Are you now
Judge
in the
your mama.
documentary? She said she kind of encouraged us to forgive Justin Timberlake, because I was done with Justin. How are you on that? How do you feel about forgiving him for the whole Super Bowl and how he mishandled things after? And y'all tell us how you feel. Are y'all forgiving Justin? Because Black Twitter was like,
Yeah, Black Twitter.
Sorry, I love you, but no.
So I'm on the fence. Again, I'm always on the fence, because before the whole Super Bowl thing, I'm not gonna lie, I love me some Justin.
Girl, me too.
I have almost every CD. I'm not gonna lie, it is what it is. He had some hits. Let's not pretend, y'all. But it did, I will say, seem like he threw her under the bus. But with the documentary and her revealing, I don't think she would lie about that. She made the decision. She told him to just don't say anything, or whatever she told him. She kind of gave him the directive on what she should do. Now, I don't think he purposely ripped her to expose her titty, but damn, can we get over it? It was just a damn titty. Like, what was the damn big deal? I
just wanted that you just had white men in places who just wanted to cancel her. And that we saw that with what came out about Les Moonves, the head of CBS at that time, later was really out to just cancel her. Black Butterfly said, nope, not going to happen about Justin Timberlake. I'm not actively mad, but not supporting him ever. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate what she had to say. And I was a huge Justin Timberlake fan. And after that, I was done with him, because even though she said not to say anything, he saw what was happening to her when she was disinvited from the MTV Awards, where like her career took a nosedive because of that. And he was on that stage too, and his just continued to rise. And to me, even though she told him not to say anything, he should have said something. Yeah. He should have said something before this. And I see her in being in this place of forgiveness and love. She seems so happy and at peace. So I'm like, girl, we talking about a whole Janet Jackson thing. We're talking about, and just like that. But we both love her. And I get that, she can forgive. I mean, like Black Butterfly said, I'm not actively mad at him, but I mean, I have a hard time supporting his music, not just because of what he did, but just because of how this industry has treated Black people, particularly, and lifted up not just white performers, but white performers who perform our music. You know what I mean? I mean, he made it on the backs of Black music, right? That was the kind of music that took him, with Timberland and those hits and beats and all that kind of stuff. It was that, and it was Black people who were like endorsing what he was doing. So, you know, I just have a problem with the whole music industry because it wasn't just him. It was a lot of people who collectively they were just out to get her. And whether that was tied to her brother and what those accusations and all that kind of stuff, I just felt it was unfair.
It was definitely unfair, and it is hard for Black women, and each and every time she's at a like height, something happens, you know, because as they said, or as she said in the documentary, what happened with Michael affected her, but Michael was still able to kind of like bounce back from that. So it's like Black women get the brunt of all of it, and including Justin. I agree. I feel like he should have stepped in. You saw she was getting like way majorly shit, but I feel like he was so cowardly and so afraid of, you know, he's still trying to make it. But now he's like, at this point, years have passed and you are high in your career. It's time you say, hey, y'all, let this Janet stuff rest. You know, he should have stepped up at the time where now you got it by the balls. Now your career is doing good, but he continued to let people, you know, bad talk her, blacklist her. I mean, it just got to be it got to ridiculous limits with it.
Yeah, it really did. What happened to her was uncalled for, and I'm happy she's in a good place now, but he should have done more. Cute Delta Girl says Janet can forgive him, but I don't. He could have stepped up and showed his masculinity, regardless of what Janet said. He should have shouldered some of the responsibility. Again, he did a full country album not long after he threw Janet under the bus.
And that was trash. It was trash.
I
didn't buy it. I wasn't buying it. I was like, and you know, I get irritated too because, like you said, a lot of these artists, you know, you start your career within the Black, you know, community, and then when it comes time for a Black journalist to interview you, all of a sudden you're not fucking available, or you know, I, as a Black journalist, your people are gatekeeping and won't allow because you think that's all who my audience is. But it just doesn't make any sense. So after a while, I mean, you know, I don't support his music like that. I will say those albums had some hits on them, but I'm not out rushing, standing in lines. I mean, I don't even know if people still do that. But
girl, I won't even watch his. If he's in a movie, I'm not watching it. I feel some kind of way. But after Janet said what she said, I said, maybe I need to relax a little bit because if she ain't mad at him, but I still feel like he could have done more. Maybe I'll just, you know, I'm not angry anymore at him, but I still have a bad taste in my mouth. But I think it's not just him. It's everybody. It's the industry and how they treated her that bothers me. You know what I mean? She's been through so much.
yeah.
Any last thoughts on And Just Like That? Girl, we done gone off on a whole Janet Jackson tangent, but not that that's a bad thing, but I feel like we covered everything, and I feel like I thought it was interesting, though. I did want to say this one last thing before we go, because we've been on more than an hour, about the ashes and her going to Paris in that fabulous gown she was giving me, girl. Just breakfast at Tiffany's all the way with that hair. I just loved it. I love that moment, and I'm glad she made that decision to do that. And I wonder if her plan is to have somebody sprinkle her ashes over the same bridge, you know, when they're all done. But you know, who knows?
Who knows? But that dress was absolutely fabulous, and they were really in Paris and really shot it there. And I thought it looked so beautiful. It was such a beautiful cinematography moment.
Yeah.
Well done with that. Well done.
I agree. Well, we will, you know, keep waiting to see if there will be a season 2. But this has been fun, my friend, doing these recaps. It's been fun talking to you, you know, long distance as if we're face to face. And thank you all for tuning in week after week for our shenanigans as we.
Hey, you know what? There's I'm gonna you know, still try to kind of recap and review some stuff if it becomes topical. You know, I might do it myself, or you know, find someone that's interested in those types of TV shows or
well, there's so much.
So
There's so much good stuff out there.
Did you see what Netflix? They're dropping a whole bunch of movies, girl. And just
so much good
TV
stuff
shows that's are coming out. So much content. But I, at the end of the day, love me some Jackie and would love to, explore what other shows we can recap. But this one has been so much fun.
It's been so much fun. Everybody's saying they're glad that we did this and they love us. We love you guys too. Thank you. This has been so much fun.
Yeah.
And hopefully, like I said, there'll be a season 2. But it's been a fun dialoguing about so many things. I mean, these conversations were just like, not just about the show, but just about life and women and so many cool things. So it's been real. So thank you guys. Thank you, Nekia.
Thank you. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube. You can always check out what you missed on this recap. Plus, I have other celebrity interviews. I have cooking tutorials. I have makeup tutorials. Listen, I got it all, y'all. Just go, just go, just go, just go. So thank you guys so much again for tuning in. We love you. We'll try to, we'll try to give you some more later on. We'll figure it out. But for right now, mwah. And just like that,
we out.
Yeah, we out.
Bye, you guys.